Oh man, I've just about got a headache today. It's been a long day. I took my time getting up this morning. It's harder to move. The older I get, the harder it is to get this weight off of my shoulders. I've been meaning to go by this elderly man's house and cut his tree down for him. I noticed somebody cut, it was the storm damage, big oak fell. And I noticed somebody showed up one day and cut like a very little bit of it. So I went over today to cut it, try to get most of it I could get, and it was a huge oak tree. And when I got there, I looked and it had a vine that big of poison oak wrapped around it, limbs going. I've seen some pretty large poison in my life. This was in the top 5. So as of right now, in Jesus' name, I pray this poison oak that's all over me will not affect me. I feel the itches everywhere. My ankle, I always wear shorts when I'm working. In my ankles, my shins, my face. It's we're gonna pray in Jesus' name. Before I left the house though, did you know the guy showed up? And I'm not, listen, I don't want your praise. I'm not saying this for praise. I don't deserve nothing. God commands me to bless people. The guy comes home while I'm cutting it up. He's like, well, I was going to let it rot until all the leaves were off of it, and I was just going to grind it up in the next 2 or 3 years. But you can have the wood if you want it. He didn't say thanks. He didn't say anything. I just told him, yeah, I figured I'd just be a good neighbor and help you out. He didn't say thank you. He didn't offer a water. Nothing. Nothing. I'm like, this is strange. This is an old guy. He's like 70. And doesn't offer a thank you and I don't need a thank you. I don't understand. So this morning before I left the house, Tim Pool was on talking about the hurricane and the damage and everything going on. And he had Rob Dew. And Rob is a former host of the Alex Jones Show. So Tim Pool's like, this is strange. This hurricane took a turn and it boosted up speed and blah, blah, blah. Well, then he turns it to Rob. Rob said, oh, well, they have patents. They just introduced a patent either last year before last, that they can direct the storm any way they want. They can intensify it. They can make storms a lot worse than they are. And Tim Pool is because I've told you before, Tim Pool is stupid. He voted for Obama, voted for Hillary. Tim Pool, being as stupid as he, says, well, they're not controlling the weather. You could have a patent for everything, you know. So Rob has the guy pull up the patents for the weather modification, for directing a hurricane, for strengthening a hurricane, for making a hurricane worse. And Tim Pool says, well, yeah, you can have a patent for anything. It doesn't mean they're actually doing it. And just skipped over it. That was it. Move on. Everyone is saying they have never seen a storm go to the Gulf of Mexico, to the West Gulf of Mexico. It's the eastern seaboard of Mexico. And turn and come back this way and intensify from a Category 1 to a Category 5 within an hour. Nope, nothing to see here. How is it that I know about the mines? The new mine in the Everglades, the mine that they was approved for yesterday, or the day of the storm, the mine that was approved for the lithium mine, the quartz mine. How do I know all of this information? You want me to tell you? One, because I'm directly connected to everything that's going on. I know things that people don't understand that I know. But I'll tell you this much. Patrick Bet-David, TBD Podcast, Valuetainment. He's on there with Vinny and his other side hosts that are like, well, we've been doing weather modification since the 70s with Project Cirrus. And, they were 70 years ago, they did this experiment when they dropped dry ice in a storm and it made it turn. So why aren't we experimenting on how to shut these storms down? We know that they're not making them worse, but why aren't they trying to stop them? Why useless. I'm going to make a really crude analogy. I'm going to make a really crude analogy because it's the only one I can come up with right now. You know how useless the people are that give us our news are? You know how absolutely useless they are? They're just as useless as having a limp pecker trying to have sex while you're drunk. Now, I only had that occurrence 2 times. It was 2 goddamn women, and I just really wanted it so bad, and But to think, they're not getting the information. Why? Because Google stops what they see too. I downloaded the Brave app the other night. It's not really an app, but it's a search engine. Brave. And the difference between that and Google is night and day on what you ask for. And I got everything I asked for. DuckDuckGo used to be the second one to go to besides Google if you want to see something. Then DuckDuckGo got bought by George Soros and BlackRock. And then there was another one after DuckDuckGo, so I can't even remember the name of that one. But it would silence it, and then every one of them, boom, 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 just got knocked down. So Brave has got all the information there. All the patents are there. It's just like me telling people they can put voices in your head. Here's the patent. Well, you know, you can have patent for anything. Don't mean they really got it. They're really making it happen. Why is it that this guy right here, this guy in his 1988 Ford Ranger piece of jewelry truck with his gray beard and an old raggedy t-shirt has more knowledge and wisdom in that little finger than Tim Pool's got pulsing through his veins? And how is it that he was allowed to open this mega empire to be dumb? Gets paid millions of dollars a month off YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and everything else he's got. Why are they the ones rewarded for giving out a tenth of the information that I'm giving you for free? I got a ball tire on the back of my truck. It's ball. I've seen condoms with more tread. But I've got to be this smart, and they're dumb as a box of rocks. Rocks have more of a use than Tim Pool. I mean, Rob Dew from Alex Jones. And he never said, yeah, Tim, they are actually manipulating the weather. Yes, they are. He just went, well, yeah, they got a patent. Maybe they aren't doing anything. Why is no one willing to go the extra step of saying the truth? They'll sniff around the truth all day long. I think I smell truth around here somewhere. Golly gee, if I let somebody know what it is, I might get in trouble. We can't dare give the people everything. If we give it all to them, they won't come back for more. And why do I have 660 subscribers and I still can't get but 100 people to watch a video? Why aren't you liking and subscribing? Why aren't you sharing? I've given more information about this storm than anyone. Told you exactly what's going to happen. They're going to delay the election because of all the storms or a war. They just sent Lebanon. Tim Pool couldn't even mention Lebanon until after I did. 357 million or 387 million, depending on who you listen to, dollars sent to Lebanon to fund the devastation and to fund the relief of the devastation. Having this amount of discernment sucks, because I just go hoarse screaming it and no one wants to listen. It's, oh, I'm sorry, that's just a bridge too far. You just don't have any credibility. Have I lied to you? Well, no, you ain't never lied. Have you ever caught me and telling the half truth? Well, you never told nothing in the half truth. Have I been wrong? Well, you never really been wrong. Did I hurt your feelings by telling the truth? Well, it kind of hurt my feelings, but I didn't hold it against you. But then you still won't listen.